Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome again to my podcast, Snack Thoughts. I say again, welcome to my podcast, Snack Thoughts. And so, what is my thought for tonight? Well, in the recent things that have been going on with the current state of the economy and, excuse me, I would just say life in general, and you never know what curveballs that life is gonna throw you, and that includes me or any one of us, But if I would title this episode tonight on my podcast, I would call it "Knowing When to Pivot," and I'm gonna say it again: knowing when to pivot. Now, what do I mean when I talk about knowing when to pivot? Well, knowing when to pivot means knowing when to turn or to go in a different direction, when, say, maybe something may or may not be adding up, or maybe it's best in any given situation to go in a different direction. And when I talk about knowing when to pivot, this could be true in a business, if maybe the particular market that you're in, maybe it's changed from what it was before. In business and in markets and economies, you have up and down cycles. Up and down cycles, sometimes they can result in slowdowns, recessions, depressions. It can result in inflation, hyperinflation, stagflation, and businesses go in and out all the time, and so you have to do an assessment or like a SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and assess, okay, what direction, is, say, maybe the business headed in. It could be true for anything, even with your health. If you get hit with a certain illness or sickness, then it can cause you to stop and think, okay, what is it that I'm doing? Maybe I need to turn in a different direction to take better care of my health, to include diet. It could include exercise. What type of medication are you taking? But what can you do better to preserve your health and to make it better? And so it may require some changes. When I talk about knowing when to pivot in a different direction, or knowing when to pivot, I'm talking about making changes that are needed at the right time, and you don't want to pivot too late and miss a window of opportunity that can make all the difference, knowing when to pivot. I look at different things that's going on, everything from homelessness, to health, even just different cycles in this economy. Everything from real estate to the job market, layoffs, unemployment, everything from side hustles to the gig economy, or relationships. Even in your relationships, sometimes you have to know when to pivot in order to make that relationship succeed. If you don't pivot at the right time, and the relationship, maybe it's not working right because you are going in a certain direction, and if you don't pivot at the right time, then that could destroy or cause that relationship to fail. And that's true in anything, athletics. I mean, it's just life in general. You have to know when to pivot and make changes. And for each one of us, only we can determine that in our own lives, because we all are different. We all have strengths, weaknesses, and we all have opportunities, and we have threats to those opportunities. that are in our lives, and each person must know themselves and make that own determination of what they're going to do and which way they're going to go, you know. But yes, knowing when to pivot. And I also say that because, you know, in my years as I got older and I learned and I got more life experience, and in some ways I became wiser, I begin to understand that things don't stay the same. People change, things change, people, places, and things, they change. Eras move on. Times change. The only thing that doesn't change is God. That's the only thing. But anything beneath that, it changes. Sometimes things and people or places, we may remember them a certain way in a certain time frame, but then when years later we can go back to that same place or see those same people, and they are not the same. They're not the same people that they were. What we thought or how we remembered them, they weren't the same people. We go back to maybe places, neighborhoods, places where we used to hang out. That neighborhood may not be there anymore, or it could totally have changed than how you remember things. And so when you take all these different things into account, you have to know how to pivot. Don't get stuck in time. Or I've heard the saying, it's called living in the past. Don't live in the past, because once the past is gone, it's like a vapor. And that time or that time frame, it is never going to come back. It's gone. And so you have to know when and how to move on. And that includes whether it's jobs, definitely relationships. Some people, they don't move on, from certain relationships. And that can include with, say, maybe loved ones, or that could be maybe a boyfriend or a girlfriend, or, marriages. And sometimes people can allow themselves. Life is filled with different seasons. You have winter, spring, summer, and fall. And I was told by a sister in the Lord of mine about some people get caught in their winter. So even spiritually, there are different seasons. And when she talked to me about getting stuck in your winter, basically what she was saying, you get caught in a certain season and you don't move on and progress out of it. So as a result, you never make it out of winter, you never make it to spring, and then you never make it to summer. And that's true spiritually, but that's also true in life. Some people get stuck in their winter, or stagnation, and they never progress or move on. Stagnant in growth. So that's just something to grow on and something to think about. For you, maybe it's your career. It could be your career. It could be a relationship. Maybe a marriage. Or family members. It goes on and on. It could be your health. But knowing when to pivot, and you have to do your SWOT analysis: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And you have to do that assessment and add up the math and see if the math is mathing. And if the math isn't working out or mathing, then that means that there are some changes that need to be made in order for you to progress into a different season for yourself. But anyway, that's all I have for this one. But it's something to think about, guys. Something to think about. Knowing when to pivot. Sometimes we got to change, or we got to move in a different direction, or turn in a different direction in order for us to continue in our journey and be successful and go on to the next level. But anyway, that's all I have, and I thank you guys for listening. And the name of this podcast is called Snackz Thoughts. That's SNAKZ THOUGHTS, Snacks Thoughts. And this podcast can be found on Spotify, Spreaker, Acast, Radio PPM, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and a host of other social media outlets. So please join Snacks Thoughts. Definitely join it and share it and push it out. I also have a YouTube channel called Eric Broadus YouTube. That's EricBroadus YouTube, or ericbroadusyoutube.com. So please go over to my YouTube channel and smash the bell to become a subscriber. Hit the like button to like the video. Hit the unlike button if you don't like the content. Either way, leave a comment. I would love to hear your thoughts and love to dialogue with you. But please share Eric Broadus YouTube and Snacks Thoughts. Share them with friends, family, enemies, frenemies, cats, goats, bats, dogs, whatever. Share it. Push it out, guys. All right? Snacks Thoughts and Eric Broadus YouTube. But something to think about. Knowing when to pivot. That's all I have on this one, guys. Peace out and catch you on the next one. Later.